So I can almost bet my life savings that her business will triple in the next 12 months. Hi, I'm Jason Couch, founder and CEO of Relo Radar. And today we have a special guest, one of our newer agents who have joined Relo Radar, Priscilla Shields.
Hi there. It's great to be here, Jason.
And I appreciate you coming on camera because, it's always a nerve-wracking thing. And everything we do today has no scripts. We have nothing in front of us. We're just having a fireside talk about her experience joining Relo Radar, going from the old guard to the new guard, right?
Absolutely.
So if you can give a brief, start back when you're 5 years old and tell us your life story. Just a brief history of kind of your real estate career.
Sure. So I actually got started back in the day with a national retailer. So I didn't have my license, used to negotiate leases for them, mostly by phone. And then I went in and started to rehab homes, became an investor, wholesaling, bought some rentals along the way, and then realized I was leaving money on the table, so I picked up my license.
Awesome.
And did that really on a part-time basis until around 2020. My husband was encouraging me, why don't you do it full-time? And I think you'd do well at it. So I did, and so that's what's brought me here today.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good point, is a lot of these investors and wholesalers, I ask them all the time, so for the 98% of sellers that want too much for their house for you to make any, living on, how are you monetizing that? They're like, I don't know. Well, here's the thing, and that's why I love agents, is if you take a look at the stats, 97% of all real estate transactions are retail, not wholesale, right? So if you're a wholesaler investor, I encourage you to talk to Relo Radar about what we can do for you, because we have so many great agents that you can actually monetize those exits, and it could actually pay for your entire marketing budget for the wholesale deals that you're actually doing. Because, and this is totally off script, is I've found that wholesalers have to spend close to $3,000 to $5,000 or so to get an actual deal under contract in straight marketing. That's really what they have to do. Well, guess what you get to do if you're really smart about it? Use Relo Radar and hedge off that $3,000 to $5,000 as referral commissions for all of the sellers that don't fit your criteria. And a lot of wholesalers don't think about that. That would allow you to scale indefinitely with almost no acquisition costs for each wholesale deal. Anyway, went off on a tangent, but her history is investment and wholesale, and now she's playing the retail game, right?
Absolutely.
And what is your favorite segment of the agent world right now? I heard you do a lot of expired listings.
I do expireds. Also FSBOs. I do pick up FSBOs along the way. I call them, and everybody, I know agents think, oh my goodness, they'll never work with you. And yes, they can be really hard-headed about what they think they know, what they have experienced. But then, some of them are willing to listen, and some of them really you just reach them at the right time and they're ready to go.
And you know as well as I do, when you're calling expireds or FSBOs, having the strongest value proposition in the shortest amount of time is the most important thing you can do, right?
Absolutely.
Because, I always say you have to have empathy for what the people you're calling are going through, because we've all been called by salespeople, right? So you have to think like the other person.
Yep, that's exactly right.
And you have to play both sides of the chessboard. Mm-hmm. And what I find is a lot of agents are just playing one side of the chessboard, right? Mm-hmm. So, using Relo Radar, you're going to help curate the ultimate unique selling proposition in the first 2 minutes. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. But before Relo Radar, how are you positioning yourself as why you're different?
So when I call them, and just like you said, like if I'm talking to an expired, I'm letting them know, look, I'm experienced in this. I can get your home sold quickly and for top market value. And so what are they wanting? They're wanting somebody who can get it done quickly. Mm-hmm. And what does every seller want? They want it sold at the top market
That's right.
price. So it doesn't, I haven't gotten into the how-tos. I'm just, like you said before, if you offer them the very best that they can actually potentially get, if they're not interested in that, they're really not interested. They're not going to move forward.
That's a good point, yeah. And we'll talk about that. It's because we train how to start at perfection, correct? So when Priscilla's calling the expireds, I'm sure she says that I feel very confident that I can get you as much as you want or what you deserve and in the shortest amount of time. that would be a perfect situation, right? And what you'll learn as you join Relo Radar is that really de-risks the emotional toll on selling. Because if you start off at perfection and your prospect doesn't bite off at perfection, are they ever going to accept anything less than perfect?
Right.
So she was already doing the Relo Radar way before Relo Radar, which is just, I like to identify that because that's so important. But now that you're with Relo Radar, what are some of the things and the special sauce you've been adding to your expired presentations?
So we sat down and we went through a Zoom and some role playing, and so you threw out so many different things.
Yep.
I will tell you, it was like a gusher of great information. And so one of the things that I want to do is, because I obviously got it transcribed, all the great things that you had to say, and then that's what I'm going to have to do is go back and actually practice it, because whether any of us believe it or not, we all have a certain way we speak. We're all using a script. Whether we say we never use a script, we use a script.
Yes.
Whether it's that's a script.
And what I always like to say is everybody has their own style of kung fu. They all win fights. It's just what style are you using, right?
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
Continue.
So just that whole concept of having a script. So I have been practicing a certain script. And everybody goes, "Oh my gosh, then you sound scripted." No. You learn scripts, and you actually just learn more phrases and words, and then you start to, as you get better at it, and then you learn tonation on certain words and where to pause and matching and mirroring. There's a whole lot. There's a kind of a science art to everything. Yeah. And so I have all of that rolling around and memorized and just flows out of me a lot of times. Now I've learned some others from you, but I've got it takes a switch. It's like,
sure,
I know English, I know some Spanish, but to do Spanish I have to think about it. It's like that with Relo Radar. I have to practice it.
That's right, because Relo Radar's unique selling propositions are so unique. That's the U in USP, right? And it's just like going to a foreign country. You have to learn a new language. But once you get these basic tenets down, your business just doubles and triples in what I've experienced, right?
Right.
So let's do a quick little role play so you guys listening can understand the difference between a normal expired pitch and a Relo Radar expired pitch. And we won't bore you with a long dialogue, but just like Priscilla said, before Relo Radar, you basically are just pitching a unique selling proposition that everybody could say, right?
Right.
I would like to sell your house for more than you deserve in less time. Is there anything else that you were adding to that?
As far as for the expireds, that's usually the driving force, right?
That's right. And unfortunately, a lot of people are able to say that without proving it, right?
Right.
So that first 2-minute window is so important to build momentum, because you guys know that people are trying to get you off the phone as soon as they can with the least amount of effort, right? Mm-hmm. So how many times have you heard, "Well, I'm not interested. Call me back. It's not in the budget." Like, I want to think about it. Really? What are you going to ponder it on a hill for an hour? Or is it really just you want to get me off the phone, right?
Right.
And that all that says is you haven't conveyed enough value in that 2 minutes.
That's right.
So everybody listen at home. WIFM is the only radio station people tune into. What's in it for me, right? Mm-hmm. So everything you're phrasing has to be about them. But here's the trick. With Relo Radar, it's not just about money, because there's 5 things that are happening to a seller. Is their time being absorbed? Is their stress being absorbed? Is their effort being absorbed? Is their financing being absorbed? This game is about happiness, stress, time. There's so many components that make a successful listing other than money. If you get somebody top dollar, but it was the most agonizing closing, and they have moving trucks packed up and the closing gets delayed and their stress is through the roof, they would go back in time and rather have an easier transaction for less money, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're presenting things, be different by presenting the benefits beyond money. See? Mm-hmm. So let's do a quick role play, because I don't call expireds, but give me a normal scenario of an expired listing, that what they would say on the phone.
So I'm not selling anymore.
Oh, you're not selling anymore. I understand. Going through your listing is probably a pretty arduous thing, correct?
Yeah, it was out there for 6 months. We got lowball offers. They're just investors, and so we're gonna just we don't have to move. We're gonna just stay put for now.
Understood. And just out of curiosity, if all of a sudden you could wave a magic wand and the most perfect offer came your way, could you still see yourself moving if you had no inconvenience about it?
You mean the offer that the price that we want?
Yeah.
Well, sure. We
Okay.
would do it.
Awesome. And here's the problem is I sort of consider myself the agent for people who don't like agents because it's not necessarily an efficient market as you've experienced. And the last thing I want is for you to go through all of that pain and turmoil again. But Priscilla, did you know that the relocation market tends to pay more than the local market?
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, I've been hearing about some of those California buyers.
That's right. Your house would literally be like a pool house for them. So I just think you were attacking the wrong segment of buyers. So local buyers can kick tires all day long. But what if I could present offers for people who are actually moving here months from now without a sign in the yard, a lockbox on the door, so you could actually get the truth to see if moving was correct for you?
That sounds intriguing. I haven't heard that before.
Yeah, and that's why we're different, is because we don't want you to go through 20 showings a week and a sign in the yard, because most agents do the 3 Ps. Do you know what the 3 Ps are? They put a sign in the yard, they put it in the MLS, and they pray that it sells. Relo Radar is completely different. So I would like to offer you a solution because your house right now, there has to be something that you don't like about it. What don't you like about your house?
It's just too small.
Okay, so we have two choices. You can continue to be cramped, or we can provide a solution of possibilities. So if I can de-risk this for you, meaning take the time out and the energy out and the stress out of it, could you still say no to offers if I bring them to you?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. When can I come out and take a tour of the property?
Will be available in a couple weeks.
Okay, so do you guys see the difference between incorporating time, stress, happiness? Because I don't want this to be a sales training session because I want to talk about you. But there's 3 different types of agents, guys. There's the waiters, the lookers, and the creators. Now, if you noticed, I just created a problem that she never knew she had and then solved it right after. This is the new language that you can learn at Relo Radar. Now, it'll take some time, but what we're very proud of is we can literally fix your tomorrow. So whatever you're doing now, just adding the ability to find future home sellers for your buyers literally fixes your tomorrow. Being able to give predictability to your listings by having the Relo market make offers ahead of time without the inconvenience of a listing will literally fix your tomorrow. Because as you know, I always say that real estate's just like baseball. And when you have 200 at-bats every single year, then you just have to increase your batting average. So if you just use just a couple things, you don't have to be a master at it like you mentioned, a couple little things that convert 5 or 10 more people out of the 200 interactions, you've literally added $100,000 to your bottom line with zero effort, just in the first 2 minutes. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So have you experienced some movement in your sales from that?
Yeah, well, I definitely see, because I've taken some aside where I've made notes where I'm going to be calling them back. We're in conversation.
Right.
You know, we've had there's a rapport, there's some interest, and I'm like, okay, this would be a great Relo Radar type of segment.
That's right.
So that's what I'm going to be doing, is going back and positioning it differently.
Yeah, and let's talk about that for a moment, because a lot of people, when they're selling real estate, don't realize that there's 10 different sales being made. So selling somebody on having a conversation with you is a sale in itself. So it has to be phrased completely differently than trying to close their listing. So when you're in text dialogues with folks, you will learn through Relo Radar how to sell value via text messages to sell the conversation. And then once you're in conversation, you're de-risking it to sell the appointment. And once you're at the appointment, you're de-risking it to sell the signing of the listing. So you have to segment this into different stages. And just like, it's sort of like a war. It's a metaphorical war. And you don't really want to shoot bullets until the enemy's exposed. And I see a lot of agents just shooting and firing artillery, and I'm the best at this and this, and they haven't actually identified the problem. They haven't created the problem to solve. So what you'll really learn at Relo Radar, which Priscilla is learning, is how to interview clients first to make sure they're sellable.
Yes.
Because as a salesperson, we have to protect our emotional baggage,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
So, just imagine going through your real estate day, just interviewing people, and if they say something you don't like, you haven't even turned on your sales engine yet. That will save your energy, save your emotional toll. So when it's game time and you have a sellable prospect, all of your focus and energy goes into that. And if you're learning these things slowly over 200 trials in a year, it's like almost a sure thing that you'll get another 10, 20 transactions out of it. Now, through those 10 or 20 transactions, you now have more cash flow, which means you have a higher risk tolerance to spend more money on marketing to get more clients that are sellable. So it's this huge little wheel that controls the entire watch. So what we want to do with you and everybody else is we want to help you turn the little wheel, because that's literally all it is. If you ever seen these kung fu masters that hold up a muscle guy with one arm and they're 80 years old, is they're doing something different. The top agents are doing something different, and we want everybody to be an incredible 1% agent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it.
Awesome. So some of your other experience, how about onboarding to Relo Radar? Was it a chore? Be honest, was it hard to get the new concepts with the technology?
To be honest, so my husband's come on board as far as really working on the back end for me. So he realizes, if I can be more on the phones, get in front of people and spend more time doing that part, and then he can help relieve me of the other part. So
Yep.
of just the transitioning, because it's, different systems and things like that. But,
Sure.
we're really excited because we think that it's going to be more organized, a little more streamlined,
Yes.
more efficient,
More time.
with more, yeah.
Yeah, time is your greatest enemy. From our showing tour suites, from our AI dashboards to the USPs, like once you have this USP, unique selling proposition, you're going to have more clients than time in short order. So now you have a time problem. We want all of you to have a time problem because that means you have more clients than time. Well, guess what? We've solved that as well. And once you have the time problem solved, you now have a labor problem. Do you like showing houses? Does anybody like sitting in traffic and showing 26 homes? Well, whoever controls and originates the deal gets to decide which one of your staff members will show that house. So now you can originate 10 buyers with a showing staff, and you're way more efficient, and your bottom line's going through the roof. It's that kind of efficiency that we're obsessed with at Relo Radar. So full disclaimer, though, we're not good for average agents. We make great agents phenomenal. We're not particularly good at making average agents good. Priscilla is a great agent that our mission is to make phenomenal. So if you think you got what it takes, we'd love to talk to you and how you can integrate Relo Radar into your business, get all of the USPs, and really take your career to the next level.
Well, it's been fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, any final comments?
I am just really excited. I know that one of the things I really like about you, Jason, is, and I've mentioned this to other people, is that you think outside the box.
Thank you.
And that's just huge to be able to do that, because then you can look and you can see things. Because sometimes it's, like you said, it's that 1% change, that 1% adjustment that over time has a huge, huge impact.
Absolutely. And everybody knows I'm full of colorful metaphors. But if you take, $100,000 Mercedes, and it's the shiniest thing in the showroom, but it's missing one little fuse in an electrical box, it doesn't run. Mm-hmm. It may look like a Mercedes, but it won't run at all unless you put that little fuse. So what I love to do is teach people what they don't know that they don't know, because that's the most dangerous information. But everybody watch Priscilla's stats, because I anticipate they will double or triple over the next 12 months, because she's one of the rare agents that actually picks up the phone and calls people, because we all know that the phone weighs 1,000 pounds. So she has the rarest gift in the world in being able to confront the telephone and call all of these people with her new magical USPs. So I can almost bet my life savings that her business will triple in the next 12 months. So again, click the link below. Let's set up a demo and we'll have a real estate therapy session. Nothing serious, but we'll just talk about if it's right for you. And then maybe you too can triple your business like Priscilla. So I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for the kind words. And again, we'll talk to you soon, guys. And if you need anything, go to reloradar.com, Instagram @ReloRadar. And we look forward to speaking to you soon.